Coming up on AgweekTV, ag leaders listen to concerns about the stressed farm economy. A big surprise this year for a cattle rancher just outside of Reynolds, North Dakota. And some farmers are spending thousands of dollars on new equipment to harvest soggy fields. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Shauna Olson. It's a common topic at farm shows and cafes across the country this summer. Farmers and agribusinesses are concerned about the stressed farm economy. Agweek's Michelle Rook takes a look at how farmers are facing the triple whammy of low prices, lower yields, and the mounting burden of regulations.
Farmers attending Dakota Fest are facing another year of depressed commodity prices, and this season they won't have a bumper crop to make up the difference.
You know, I think everybody's just kind of worried about the crop right now and where it's at. Where crop prices are is probably the very biggest thing, simply because we've come off some very good years and now prices are depressed.
As a result, the Department of Ag's loan mediation program is getting a workout.
We've definitely seen a huge uptick in that program, but it's been beneficial. We've been keeping up with the demands on that program as well.
During a congressional update at Dakota Fest, South Dakota Congresswoman Kristi Noem told farmers the farm safety net isn't providing adequate help.
There have been real problems with the commodity title of this farm bill, and we've had some discrepancies from county to county that have impacted producers in a very detrimental way.
And unfortunately, the state's livestock producers are also feeling the squeeze.
A lot of red ink in the feedlot sector in the last year. Big concern there, a loss of equity.
On top of low commodity prices, South Dakota farmers say they're also struggling with the increased regulatory burden.
Some of these water rules, when they start trickling down to hitting 100, 200, 300 head operations, then the public is going to realize how serious this is.
Representative Noem says during the recess, regulations are the top concern she's heard among the farm community.
You know, the regulations coming out of the Obama administration would change our way of life. When it comes to waters and the Clean Water Act, the Waters of the U.S. regulation.
So she says curbing those regulations will be high on their agenda when they return to Washington, even during a lame duck. In Mitchell, South Dakota, I'm Michelle Rook reporting for Ag Week.
Many farmers have lost a lot of crops due to the soggy growing season in parts of the Northern Valley. For some, just getting to them is a challenge. Scott Cook has more.
This summer's wet weather has Jared Sands literally stuck in a rut on his Alvarado farm.
Forced us to buy tracks for the combine in order to get it off.
Sands is just one of the many farmers in Marshall County whose combine kept getting stuck in soggy soils. In order to harvest his wheat, Sands had to replace the front tires on his combine with expensive tracks.
The issue, I think, for a lot of growers, a lot of farmers, is the economics. And when you look at, $4 wheat, and maybe the crop isn't as good as you hope, if you spend, $70,000 to $85,000 on tracks, it's hard to kind of justify that.
And some farmers have several combines, pushing the cost of tracks to well over $250,000. That's a tough price to pay considering the financial hit farmers have taken as this summer's torrential rainfall has drowned out a number of crops like sugar beets and pinto beans. This summer's wacky weather hasn't just affected farmers, it's also taking a toll on crop insurance agents.
We have some fields that were totaled out by hail, other ones that are totaled out by drowned out. We'll have a lot of claims, a lot.
Sunbee classifies it as a record number of claims. And as for Sands, he thinks he can salvage this year's harvest, but the soggy summer may affect next year's crops.
Probably making one heck of a mess for next year. That's the sad part. This is not just this year to deal with, it's many years down the road.
Too much rain has put a damper on some of the potato crop in the Red River Valley this season. Susie Thompson is the potato breeder at NDSU. She says many growers haven't had to use irrigation systems this summer, which is good and bad news. She says all the rain has also made it challenging to decide when to use the systems as well.
In a lot of areas, there has been a lot of rain this summer. For instance, we have a potato plot at Crystal, North Dakota. Already by the middle of June, it was drowned out, and they have, even this morning, they were, getting heavy rains up in that area. So that's very sad. There's also been a lot of hail, again, in that Park River, Grafton sort of area. When you get a little bit farther south in the Larimore, Grand Forks area, the crop looks pretty good.
Thompson says the crop is also in pretty good shape in Clay County in Minnesota. Mikkel Pates finds the opposite situation as he takes us to Mount Vernon, South Dakota, for this week's crop stop.
Many farmers in the region are experiencing bumper crops, but some areas like the Mount Vernon area could use some rain and are seeing some grasshoppers.
It's kind of come with the drought, the way it seems. The outside end rows, you can definitely see the pressure on the hoppers, but farther in the fields, it's looking pretty good considering the conditions. But they're the main concern right now.
This diversified central South Dakota farm saw some strong wheat yields.
The moisture came at the right time for that, and it was really exceptional this year. We're really happy with it. Average 70 bushel an acre. Protein was 12 to 14%, and the test weight's 59, where you want it.
At Mount Vernon, South Dakota, this is Mikkel Pates for AgweekTV.
Nigebauer farms with his brother. They also raise alfalfa and corn, but about a third of their corn had to be replanted due to 5.5 inches of rain a week after planting. They also have 75 dairy cows and 60 beef cows. Up next on AgweekTV, Senator Heitkamp is back home gathering input from farmers for the next farm bill.
If you love the outdoors, you need to check out Northland Outdoors magazine. Printed quarterly, Northland Outdoors is the premier publication for outdoors insight and imagery. Outdoor lovers across the Northland have embraced the in-depth stories and incredible photographs. And best of all, it's free. Go to northlandoutdoors.com and click magazine. Northland Outdoors. Amazing people, incredible stories, exciting adventures.
The American farmer. You nurture the land, the livestock, and the future of agriculture. Nationwide and your local On Your Side Farm certified agent stand with you to help protect your farm and ranch operations. We're in this together.
I've been working with farmers and ranchers for over 30 years, and I understand the demands and risks they face. It's important for me to build a personal relationship with each and every customer. It's what I do. I'm Ray Trudeau, an elite farm certified agent, and I'm on your side.
Make the ultimate upgrade this harvest with Goodyear LSW tires. LSW improves your footprint by up to 37% and gives you the ability to carry larger loads at lower inflation pressures, reducing soil compaction for a better yield next season. LSW tires are proven to reduce road load, making sure you can run at full speed from field to field, expediting your harvest. Visit your local Graham Tire to make the switch. When you reap the benefits of LSW tires, you'll know you're in Graham country.
My name is Joel Kaler, owner-operator of Kaler Farms in Lidgerwood, North Dakota. We make a patented product called a corn stalk guide. Helps guide corn stalks into the grabs in the chains a lot smoother without losing corn. The corn stalk, when it comes off of our product, it's already on the gathering chain instead of being able to hit that idler. Our product will keep all the wear off the snout and get it to come into the head smoother without bouncing.
This is summer break for the U.S. House and Senate, but it doesn't mean they're not busy. Our lawmakers spend much of that time back home meeting with voters and hearing their concerns. North Dakota Senator Heidi Heitkamp made what she calls a farm bill tour. She met with growers to hear what they like about the current farm bill and get input on the 2018 one. Mikkel Pates was in Chaffee, North Dakota, when she met with sugar producers.
Shauna, Congress is out of session in August, and U.S. Senator Heidi Heitkamp was one that was coming back and checking in on the basic industries, including agriculture and sugar in particular.
What are the 2 or 3 biggest things that you face in the coming months and years?
I would tell you really aggressive opposition, whether it is Jeanne Shaheen or Senator Flake. I mean, they basically have made this program the sole target of cuts. They are out for the sugar program, and they're being promoted by the candy industry, by people who really want to see a huge influx of very, very low-cost sugar into this country.
Right now it's Mexico and how much sugar they're importing. They're bringing in sugar that is over their quota and is really just affecting all the pricing.
You know, we talked a little bit about the GMO labeling bill, which was recently passed. That was something we saw as a positive as we move forward. It wasn't a perfect bill. Neither side got exactly what they wanted, but it was a nice compromise.
While the sugar industry is famous for its political success, there's never a shortage of threats or policies to address. In Chaffee, North Dakota, this is Mikkel Pates for AgweekTV.
The Farm Bill tour also included a stop at the Central Valley Bean Co-op in Buxton to talk about export programs. Members of the U.S. House and Senate from North Dakota and Minnesota got a look at the world's first test of ag data collection using a large-scale unmanned aerial system. The $2 million project has been running this summer along a 40-mile strip of the Red River Valley. The UAS is owned by Elbit Systems of Israel. They're comparing the quality of the images from various heights up to 8,000 feet. The goal is to show the value of large-scale UASs for precision agriculture.
I think that in the next 2-3 years, we're going to show how this has become a commercially viable enterprise in which farmers can actually leverage that kind of data and information to manage their crops more effectively and more efficiently.
Sarah Lovis farms in the experimental flight corridor and is very interested in how this technology and imagery can be used to improve farming.
We've got a large volume of data that's been collected, and if it can theoretically be produced every 7 to 10 days, we'll be able to monitor changes in season over time. And we could do things like effectively manage our in-season nitrogen applications, maybe more precisely with in-season imagery than what we've been able to do before. If we can gather elevation data, hopefully we can also do a better job with some of our surface drainage efforts as well.
The FAA hasn't yet approved rules for the use of large-scale drones. Will the weather cooperate or continue to do damage? Your Ag Outlook for the week is up next. And later, changing consumer tastes may be changing the way food is produced.
Commitment. You need it to succeed on the farm. It's total dedication to the land, family, and community. It's more than a way to make a living. It's a way of life. You've had it since the first time you ran your hands through the soil, helped bale hay, or rode along in the combine. Your commitment. It's as strong as your family's trust, as honest as each long day you put in, and as pure as the opportunity that comes with every tomorrow. It's how we build our bins. With proven design, superior structural integrity, a lifetime warranty, and a promise to stand with you, no matter what storms come your way. The harvest will always be protected, so you can sell when it's right for you, your family, and your farm. Commitment. It's why we can say, there's nothing standard about superior.
My name's Joel Kaler, owner-operator of Kaler Farms in Lidgerwood, North Dakota. We make a patented product called a cornstalk guide. Helps guide corn stalks into the grabs in the chains a lot smoother without losing corn. The corn stalk, when it comes off of our product, it's already on the gathering chain instead of being able to hit that idler. Our product will keep all the wear off the snout and get it to come into the head smoother without bouncing.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek magazine, reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted, Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
AgweekTV weather is brought to you by Kaler Farms.
You may recall back during the early part of the summer, I was giving the indication that it seemed to me that the second half of summer was going to be warm and dry across the northern plains. Did not work out that way. It was about average on temperatures, and if anything, it was quite wet across many areas. We're finally getting another round of late summer heat, but it's coming really at the very end of summer. Looking ahead into the early part of September, above average across a large part of the central United States, and this time the above average temperatures will continue to be accompanied by some stormy weather and the potential for some locally heavy rains in some areas. It's courtesy of the jet stream, kind of a split jet stream right now, but the northern branch is definitely the strong branch right now and will be for this week and probably next week as well. This southern part fairly weak, allowing for plenty of warm temperatures to move northward up to about the Canadian border as we go through the week. Last week, you may recall 100 degrees at Portland, Oregon. Well, that part of that ridge is really bombing south. It's really diving into a big low pressure trough, and it's this southwest to northeast flow over the Rockies that I think will bring up the possibility for some rounds of stormy weather, especially whenever we get a fast jet stream streak to move across the northern plains region. Plenty of heat and humidity to the south, cool weather to the north, and the energy in the atmosphere necessary for some storms from time to time. So let's check the forecast. This week, I do think there'll be some stormy conditions at times, probably 2 or 3 rounds of thunderstorms in the Canadian border region, North Dakota, northern Minnesota, southern Manitoba. The west part of the country is looking pretty dry, except for the Pacific Northwest, although it's just trees there, so that's not agricultural, unless you're interested in grass seed in Oregon or vegetables. There will, I think, continue to be concern about tropical storms in the southeastern states and potential for locally very heavy rain. I think we'll continue to see northeast Corn Belt pretty dry. That'll spread up into parts of the northeast, and then, of course, it's really a lot of northern North Dakota, northern Minnesota that will be fairly wet. Now, temperature-wise, it's going to be above average in many areas. The far northern plains, especially here, North Dakota, northern Minnesota, will be back and forth. South of here, a lot of late summer heat this week. And then next week, it's still going to be pretty warm, with at least a few days in the 90s, including maybe around Labor Day weekend, and a summer heat extension for much of the United States. In terms of precipitation, it's going to be dry in the southwest, rainy in the Pacific Northwest. I'm pretty confident about that. Don't really have many indicators for the southeastern states. In other words, it could go either way. Probably more evaporation than anything else. But across the northern plains, I think a second week of potentially fairly stormy weather, especially northern North Dakota and parts of Minnesota. So hot weather in the northern plains to finish out the summer. It will be stormy at times, and I do expect a fairly warm Labor Day weekend coming up with temperatures on at least a day or two in the 90s.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules. You tell me to stay away from drugs. To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
The American farmer. You nurture the land, the livestock, and the future of agriculture. Nationwide and your local On Your Side Farm certified agent stand with you to help protect your farm and ranch operations. We're in this together.
I've been working with farmers and ranchers for over 30 years, and I understand the demands and risks they face. It's important for me to build a personal relationship with each and every customer. It's what I do. I'm Ray Trudeau, an elite farm certified agent, and I'm on your side.
Make the ultimate upgrade this harvest with Goodyear LSW tires. LSW improves your footprint by up to 37% and gives you the ability to carry larger loads at lower inflation pressures, reducing soil compaction for a better yield next season. LSW tires are proven to reduce road load, making sure you can run at full speed from field to field, expediting your harvest. Visit your local Graham Tire to make the switch. When you reap the benefits of LSW tires, you'll know you're in Graham country.
My name is Joel Kaler, owner-operator of Kaler Farms in Lidgerwood, North Dakota. We make a patented product called the Cornstalk Guide. Helps guide corn stalks into the grabs in the chains a lot smoother without losing corn. The corn stalk, when it comes off of our product, it's already on the gathering chain instead of being able to hit that idler. Our product will keep all the wear off the snout and get it to come into the head smoother without bouncing.
The old saying, the customer is always right, hasn't always applied to food production. But in this week's commentary, Jonathan Knutson talks about how that is changing.
Like many of you, I view egg through the prisms of science and economics. If an egg practice makes financial and scientific sense, I usually support it, or at least don't oppose it. But I increasingly realize I'm in the minority. I recently attended a National Press Foundation fellowship on the future of food and egg. My big takeaway? A growing number of consumers view food strictly and solely by what's on their table, and they're unhappy with what they're getting. They say their food isn't tasty and nutritious enough. They want more fruits and vegetables. They worry about chemicals, GMOs, and sustainability. They want to take our existing food system, shake it by the neck, and force it to give them the food they want. Whether their new, refashioned food system would make economic and financial sense, well, that's not the prism through which they view egg. Like many, maybe most of you, I'll continue to view an egg practice based on its scientific and financial merits. But I'll also do a better job of asking, are consumers getting the food they want? Ask yourself, can egg in general do a better job too? For Egg Week, I'm Jonathan Knutson.
Fair season is winding down, but some county fairs are just firing up at the end of summer. The Wilkin County Fair brought out hundreds of eager fairgoers. Several students competed with their best animals in the show ring. Fair participants say even though the number of animals has dwindled over the years, it's still fun to compete. Members from the Chihinkapa Zoo were also on hand to show off some of their critters as well. They're calling it nothing short of a miracle on this farmstead just outside of Reynolds, North Dakota. We'll tell you what it is up next.
If you love the outdoors, you need to check out Northland Outdoors magazine. Printed quarterly, Northland Outdoors is the premier publication for outdoors insight and imagery. Outdoor lovers across the Northland have embraced the in-depth stories and incredible photographs. And best of all, it's free. Go to northlandoutdoors.com and click Magazine. Northland Outdoors. Amazing people, incredible stories, exciting adventures.
Commitment. You need it to succeed on the farm. It's total dedication to the land, family, and community. It's more than a way to make a living. It's a way of life. You've had it since the first time you ran your hands through the soil, helped bale hay, or rode along in the combine. Your commitment. It's as strong as your family's trust, as honest as each long day you put in, and as pure as the opportunity that comes with every tomorrow. It's how we build our bins. With proven design, superior structural integrity, a lifetime warranty, and a promise to stand with you. No matter what storms come your way, the harvest will always be protected, so you can sell when it's right for you, your family, and your farm. Commitment. It's why we can say, There's nothing standard about superior.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted, Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
My name's Joel Kaler, owner-operator of Kaler Farms in Lidgerwood, North Dakota. We make a patented product called the Corn Stalk Guide. Helps guide corn stalks into the grabs in the chains a lot smoother without losing corn. The corn stalk, when it comes off of our product, it's already on the gathering chain instead of being able to hit that idler. Our product will keep all the wear off the snout and get it to come into the head smoother without bouncing.
Some say lightning doesn't strike the same place twice, but that may not be the case for a Reynolds, North Dakota rancher. Paul Lenz raises SimAngus cattle, and according to livestock specialists, what happened on his farm is out of this world.
We calved out 20 cows, and we've got 23 calves on the ground now. That's okay, I guess. I'll take it.
A couple extra calves is good news for Reynolds, North Dakota rancher Paul Lenz.
She's not crabby.
But he admits it took him a minute to put it all together.
I knew she was getting close to calving, and it was our last cow to calve, and all of a sudden there was 3 of them laying there.
Lenz's cow had triplets.
I just hailed for the house and told Mom again to call some friends of mine, and they just couldn't believe it.
Lenz says the odds of a cow having triplets is 1 in 105,000.
I was very surprised.
Surprised indeed, and maybe even more surprised this time.
She's got her hands full, you know, 1 is enough.
Because it's not the first time. She had triplets last year, too. That's pretty rare, right?
Yes, it is. This year she took them all.
The odds of that are not documented.
This is a miracle in my book. They say it never happens. To get them all alive and have them natural is unbelievable. It's nothing to do with the bull, it's to do with the cow. And she drops 3 eggs and each one of them are fertilized.
She and her herd have become quite the attraction.
There's always somebody looking at them or something. Everybody wants to take a picture. It's just kind of fun to be in the mix of it.
Now, will you sell these calves, or what's your plan?
I don't know. I'm really thinking of maybe keeping them and see what happens with these heifers. It means they're all 3 heifers. All my friends tell me, oh, you got to keep them, you got to keep them. So we got to see what happens.
What if she has 3 again?
I don't know. Then somebody can buy her for millions of dollars.
Last year, the cow had 2 bull calves and 1 heifer. Lenz says he had to bottle feed one of them for a while. This year, the calves didn't need any help from him at all. Experts say it's rare to have triplets and almost unheard of for all of them to survive. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com. We'll see you next week.